Hey guys, welcome to today's video, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a lovely sunny day here in the UK. I'm going to bring the Ooni 3 out to play today and I'm going to try a different technique on it, one I learned off the Ooni community Facebook group. If you're not a member of that group and you own an Ooni 3 or any of the Ooni models, get yourself on there. There's some great tips, some lovely people and some great recipes. So the recipe I'm doing today is kind of unusual. It's a lemon pizza. That's right, a lemon pizza. You did hear right, don't worry. It's from a show called Gordon, Gino and Fred, where Gordon Ramsay, Gino and Fred Sirieix went to Italy, France and Scotland, doing like cooking and just basically having a laugh. It's like culinary Top Gear. If you've watched that in the UK and the US, you might not know what that is. But it was just a great show, and if you get the opportunity to watch it, check it out. So basically they went to a pizzeria in Naples, one of the oldest pizzerias in Naples. I think it might be the oldest actually. And at this pizzeria they made a lemon pizza. Gordon Ramsay put together a lemon pizza with a base of lemon curd and topped it with creme fraiche, basil and like powdered sugar around the outside. When I saw it I thought that could be done in the Ooni. You know, you've got temperatures of 400 degrees plus. It's the exact kind of mimic of an Italian pizza oven. So why not? Let's give it a go. I'm going to head on outside now, try the wood technique, see if that works, because I would normally use pellets, but instead I've got kindling wood, so I'm going to turn my Ooni 3 into a proper wood burning oven. So I'll see you out there. So before we can go outside, there's a few things we need to do first. This recipe actually starts 2 days in advance, and I managed to get hold of some Sorrento lemons and some lemon curd of the highest quality from Sainsbury's. I need to make the dough 48 hours in advance. That's because that's the way it's done in Naples, so I want to make this recipe as authentically as possible. I'm using 500 grams of type 00 flour. You can get this easily from Aldi or many other supermarkets, and I'm just going to use a stand mixer today. You can actually do it in a bowl just with your hands, that's perfectly fine. Into the bowl I add some salt, around a teaspoon, and then some olive oil. Then it's just a simple case of adding in warm water and yeast that have been mixed together just to create the dough. Traditionally in Naples they would use fresh yeast, but in this case I could only find dried yeast. It does the same job and it's perfectly fine to use it in this recipe. So after 10 minutes of mixing in the machine, the dough should have come together into a ball. It's a lot easier to do it in a bowl, and plus as well, the bowl this size was going to be useful for the 48-hour proof, as I was expecting the dough to rise quite considerably. Just wrap the dough with cling film, put it in the fridge and forget about it for a couple of days. So after 48 hours, this is what the dough looks like. It's aerated, you can see the bubble in the middle. It's light, but it needs to stand for at least an hour to come back to room temperature before you use it. So while we're waiting, let's check out some lemons. So to give you an idea of the size difference between a regular supermarket lemon and a Sorrento sized lemon, here is the regular and here is the Sorrento. It's just crazy, it's like double the size. So meanwhile outside I had to get the Ooni ready. I put a wood wall lighter at the back, trying to get like a Jenga effect with the wooden kindling I was using. This was then going to catch at the back and create a good fire. I honestly thought it'd be way more smoky, but the smoke was actually really clean in comparison to the pellets. You can see at the back here, the wood is just being loaded and then it keeps the fuel supply constant. The good thing about this is, unlike pellets, you don't have to keep babysitting it and filling it up every 5 seconds. The fire was just like a real wood fire oven. Literally just after 10 minutes of lighting, the oven was already at 350 degrees Celsius. Incredible. So with the oven up to temperature, I could then concentrate on getting the lemon filling right. I used about half a jar of lemon curd and then grated in the zest of 1 lemon. I then just needed the juice and segments of half a lemon. I found that the easiest way to take the segments out of the centre of the lemon was to take the hard rind off the outside with a knife. That then exposes the segments and you can just dice them up and add them to the lemon curd and the lemon juice, creating the topping for the lemon pizza. So the next step is to roll out the pizza base, and in Neapolitan tradition I'm going to do this by hand. If you struggle with that though, you can use a rolling pin, no problem at all. This technique is not necessarily the right technique, but it's a technique that works for me. I start by rolling the dough into a ball. This makes it a lot easier to achieve a circular shape once the dough is pressed down. Once the dough is pressed down, I'm going to try and form a ridge, so that's going to be kind of like the crust. I'm going to do this on both sides, so all the time I'm trying to stretch the pizza out. The more you work it, the bigger the pizza gets and the thinner the base gets. So once I've got the dough to roughly the size I want, it's still a bit too thick. So I'm going to put it across my knuckles using the gravitational downward pull just to kind of get the pizza a bit thinner. Once the dough's been hand stretched, I can then reform that ridge from earlier. That's going to become the crust of the pizza. Now that the base is formed, I can just tap a little bit of flour onto the Ooni pizza peel, and this will allow the pizza just to slide off into the oven when it's ready to be baked. Something really important to mention when you're actually going to top the pizza while it's on the peel is that as soon as the topping goes on, stick it in the oven. If you leave it on the peel too long, it sticks. The filling actually goes through the pizza and it sticks. So after spreading the lemon curd onto the pizza, there's only one thing left to do. In the pizzeria in Naples, Gordon Ramsay finished the pizza by tapping powdered sugar around the outside. And what this will do, this will create like a brulee effect. When the pizza hits the oven at 400 degrees, it will just caramelize and turn the crust lovely and sweet. Unfortunately, the weather's been pretty bad in these parts recently, so a lot of weeds have grown on my drive and I really need to sort that out in the coming weeks. But I'm not going to let it spoil this video. Basically, the pizza then goes into the oven, but I decided halfway through that the fire was hot enough that it could just cook without the door on. And that's great from a viewing perspective because you get to see the awesomeness of the fire. At around the 35-second mark, I hit a bit of a problem. The lemon curd on top was rapidly turning into a pool of yellow gunge. The moment of realisation is right about now. There's too much on there, I think. So I had to make a quick detour to the kitchen to spoon off some of the topping, but luckily it all worked out fine. As you can see, the pizza was cooking nicely, the fire was staying constant, and the colour was improving by the second. I tried to keep turning the pizza as often as I could, the reason being so I could get the even colour and even caramelisation on the powdered sugar. It proved to work well and it cooked within about 2 minutes altogether. I then decided to use a neat trick that I'd seen in Naples. You raise the pizza to the roof of the oven and it caramelises the top. Just do it for a few seconds, otherwise it'll be charcoal. So the wood fire technique had actually worked perfectly. The pizza looked beautiful, the crust was even, the sugar had caramelised around the outside, and the filling was actually setting as the pizza cooled down slightly. Then there's the base of it. I'd never had a base this good. Look at that, that's just incredible. Then, just as Gordon had done in Naples, I dotted the pizza with creme fraiche. The last remaining thing to do is just to sprinkle basil over the top. This then creates an amazing aroma, complete with the wood smoke flavour to create an incredible pizza. This pizza actually impressed the owner of the restaurant so much, it now features as a regular item on the restaurant menu. So is it worth proving the dough for 48 hours? In short, yes it is. The dough, you can see as I'm cutting it, is light and aerated. The flavour, well, you're just going to have to find out in a moment. Alright, so that cooked really nicely. The sugar's gone caramelised, the fire was perfect. I'm never going back to pellets after this. It's wood all the way. So let's give this a try. That is amazing. It tastes just like, it doesn't taste like a pizza, it tastes kind of like brioche with lemon on it, almost like a sort of flat lemon drizzle cake. That's an epic recipe. I'll put the full recipe that I made in the description box below. Just remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Like this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.